I gotta be honest with you guys. Honestly, when it comes down to it, when the rumor came out back in December that the guy that was going to be taking on Undertaker was Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 31, I will say that I thought that the information was bad. Much like last year, when basically in January, around the same time, the rumor came out that John Cena was going to be working Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. I think that all of us sat back and sort of laughed at it, thinking that John Cena, no way in the world was going to be taking on this guy that really had a whole lot of hype to him, but had never really beat anybody inside of WWE, and it just didn't fit. It didn't fit what Cena had done in the past. It didn't seem like it was going to be a big match, and that's almost the same thing with Bray Wyatt. I look at this match as, are they really going to sacrifice Undertaker, bringing him back to have some sort of a big sort of following behind him, using all of his fans, saying that maybe this will be the last Undertaker match. I need to go out of my way to make sure I see this, and use this as a way to sort of springboard Bray Wyatt into the superstardom that a lot of people thought that he was going to do. When I look back over the last year of Bray Wyatt, I don't really think of a guy that is a superstar. I think of a guy that had a whole bunch of boring matches that nobody really cares about, that doesn't need to be having a series of matches or even a match against The Undertaker. It doesn't really make any sense. At the end of this, I think when everybody walks away, I don't think anybody's going to win. I don't think Undertaker, I don't think Bray, I don't think the fans. I think that this right now is a horrible, bad decision. I'm not the one who's going to tell Undertaker that he can't wrestle anymore. I do believe that Taker last year had what should have been his last match. I know that, WWE has him under contract, and basically, they only really pay him to go out there and wrestle one time. And I'm sure that when it comes down to it and the story all comes out, whether if Taker, I don't know, writes a book or does some sort of tell-all interview or whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be, Triple H and Vince McMahon were knocking on his door asking him to come back. I don't think Taker needs this bullshit anymore. Taker, gave everything that he had to the business. At WrestleMania 30, he gave one of the most important things in WWE history. I'll honestly tell you that I didn't think the streak meant anything until it was finally broken. I made videos basically saying that I thought the streak should be broken because there's no way that Undertaker should be able to walk away from WWE keeping that title and not giving anything back. Honestly, I thought that Brock Lesnar was the wrong guy to beat the streak, but look what it really did for Brock. I mean, Brock really didn't need it, but I mean, it shot Brock out of being basically a borderline guy that WWE paid a whole lot of money to come in with a whole bunch of hype, who never really paid off in the long run. You saw Brock come in. He had the huge match against John Cena, UFC against WWE. Brock then went on to have matches against Triple H that nobody cared about. He went on and had a match against CM Punk that nobody cared about. And, he pulls up into WrestleMania 30. He beats Undertaker. He beats the streak. From there, that sort of shotguns him into the main event of SummerSlam, where, of course, he wins the title from John Cena. And now here he is at WrestleMania 31 taking on the Royal Rumble winner and the guy who beat last year's champion at Fastlane, Roman Reigns, the next star of the WWE. It sort of set off the chain of events to set off the next big superstar. Why you didn't, sort of save Roman Reigns versus Undertaker and just have Roman beat him himself? Maybe it's just because WWE wanted to have that picture-perfect storyline ending of Roman being the champion at WrestleMania, their biggest show of the year. Maybe they didn't want to go on some sort of a 2 or 3 year storyline. They just wanted to get this done as fast as possible. They want to find their next John Cena. They want to find their next Hulk Hogan. I'm not sure. But, when I weigh all the options that happen in this match, let's say, Bray Wyatt goes out at WrestleMania 31 and loses to The Undertaker. What does Bray get out of that? Does he get any kind of rub because he wrestled Taker at WrestleMania? It's going to be honestly the same thing as it was last year, when basically I thought that it could have really saved the Bray Wyatt character and really shot him in the right direction if Bray would have beat Cena at WrestleMania, because that is the match that everyone's going to remember. No one's going to remember what happened at Extreme Rules. No one's going to remember what happened at Payback. No one's going to remember anything else. People remember WrestleMania because it's the show that the casual wrestling fan will buy, because as a kid, they watched WrestleMania 7, they watched WrestleMania 8, they watched, WrestleMania 16, and, it's always a big thing. It's WrestleMania. It's WWE's Super Bowl. It's the biggest night of action that that WWE's going to deliver their best show of the year. It's their way of showing off, saying this is who we are, and this is what we build up for. Everybody flies into wherever they're going to, whether if it's this year at San Jose or next year in Dallas, Texas. WWE has been able to put on a destination vacation getaway to watch their biggest show of the year and bring in tons and tons of money to their pocketbook. If Taker goes out there and beats Bray, does that get any revenge on, Brock Lesnar ending the streak? Does he get to walk away from his career saying that, he did lose at WrestleMania 30, but at least he walked away with a win under his belt? Doesn't anybody ever really think about Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match at WrestleMania 19, saying that, Stone Cold lost his last match to The Rock, so his career is any less important than what it once was, with beating The Rock and never losing to him at WrestleMania? No. It doesn't help Taker at all. So I don't see how anybody wins from this. I don't really see this as a match that people are going to be circling on their calendar, saying, I can't wait to the end of March to get WrestleMania 31 so I can see Taker versus Bray Wyatt. This is a big, huge dream match that I've always wanted to see for a long time. No, it's just going to be a match in the middle of the card with a guy that is a huge legend, that deserves his day in the sun of going into the WWE Hall of Fame someday, hopefully sooner than later. Lots of rumors about 32. Still, people want to put him out there and see him have a retirement match at WrestleMania 32 against Sting, thinking that WWE's going to have to use the legends in order to sell the show, like it's going to be some sort of Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view from back in the late 90s, and I don't know. Everybody knows how that turned out. If you've never seen it, look it up on YouTube, and you will basically be done with life at the end of that show, if you even can make it all the way through the whole deal. But fun times had by all. I can't wait for WrestleMania, even if we do get Taker versus Bray, which I think is coming. Lots of rumors about WWE keeping Taker off of television. I don't know if it's because they don't want to show Taker and show what he looks like, or maybe they just don't want to have him get into fisticuffs. Maybe they want to get Bray Wyatt's promos over. But now that at least we know that Bray Wyatt is calling out The Undertaker, the promos have got a lot better. They seem like they have a direction to him now. Before, he was just floating out sort of trigger words that make you think that he was talking about Taker. And, praise the Lord that, it didn't pay off, that he was talking about Randy Orton or, I don't know, Jimmy Snuka or anybody from the past. Taker versus Bray. Let's get it on WrestleMania 31.